Have you ever wondered if tomorrow the world decided to reset its entire financial system, what would rule? Would it be the shiny metal that humans have worshipped for 5,000 years, or the green paper backed by the world's strongest military, or a string of code invented by an anonymous person hiding behind a computer screen? Let's find out who will become the future currency of the world: Bitcoin, gold, or the US dollar. The reigning champion, the dollar. Let's start with the king, the US dollar. It became the world's reserve currency after World War II when the Bretton Woods Agreement, 1944, tied global currencies to the dollar, and the dollar itself was backed by gold. Simple, right? Until 1971, when President Richard Nixon said, "Nah, we're done with gold." And poof, the gold standard ended. Today, more than 58% of global foreign reserves are still held in US dollars. Why? Because America doesn't just print money, it prints trust, and of course a few $1 trillion whenever it feels like it. But here's the twist. As the US debt crosses $35 trillion, that trust is starting to wrinkle. Countries like China and Russia are already calling it a weaponized currency. The ancient hero, gold before dollars and central banks, there was gold. The universal store of value, it doesn't rust, it doesn't vanish. And unlike crypto, you don't need a password to hold it. For centuries, empires were literally built and destroyed on gold. Even today, central banks bought more than 1,000 tons of gold in 2023, the highest in modern history. Why? Because when everything else collapses, stocks, crypto, even governments, gold quietly says, "I'm still here." But gold has a problem. You can't email it, divide it easily, or carry it across borders in your pocket. In the digital age, it's like trying to send a WhatsApp message via pigeon. The rebel, Bitcoin. Then comes Bitcoin, the rebel child of the 2008 financial crisis. Created by Satoshi Nakamoto, it promised freedom from greedy banks and corrupt governments. A decentralized, limited supply digital currency. Only 21 million Bitcoins will ever exist. Sounds perfect, right? Until you remember that Bitcoin's price moves faster than your heartbeat during an exam. In 2021, it touched $68,000, and by 2022, it was down to $16,000. That's not a currency, that's a roller coaster. However, Bitcoin introduced something revolutionary in trustless money. You don't need permission from banks or politicians, just a wallet and an internet connection. Even El Salvador made it legal tender, though half its citizens still prefer cash. So let's compare these three players side by side. The dollar has global dominance, convenience, and trust, but it's vulnerable to inflation and government policy. Gold has proven stability and timeless value, but lacks convenience and speed. Bitcoin offers decentralization, scarcity, and borderless digital freedom, but suffers from volatility and limited adoption. It's almost poetic. The dollar represents the past and present, gold stands for eternity, and Bitcoin screams future. Still, the world might not choose just one. Many experts believe we're heading into a multi-currency era, where the dollar remains the global trade standard, gold continues as the ultimate store of value, and Bitcoin grows into the internet's native currency, the digital gold of a new age. But if we had to pick one as the future global currency, Bitcoin has the strongest long-term potential. It solves the problems of both gold and fiat as it's scarce, borderless, and immune to inflation. Of course, it still needs time to mature, for regulations to evolve, and for people to trust math as much as they trust governments. But remember, every revolutionary idea starts off as crazy until it becomes obvious. So maybe decades from now, our grandchildren won't ask, "How many dollars is that?" They'll ask, "How many sats?" referring to the smallest unit of Bitcoin. Or maybe the dollar will still reign supreme, flexing its institutional muscles, while gold watches quietly from its vault. Whatever the case, one thing is certain. The race for the future of money isn't just about currency. It's about control, trust, and the power to define value itself. And in that race, Bitcoin may just be the digital dark horse ready to surprise the world. Until then, keep your wallet diversified, a little bit of green, a little bit of gold, and maybe just a few Satoshis for luck.